Hello again, War Machines. Welcome to the fourth installment of my video series, How to Get Started Painting Warmachine. Don't let the title fool you. You can use these methods and techniques in any kind of war gaming, miniature gaming game that you like to use them on. Probably they're good in general painting too, as long as you are painting with acrylics. If you recall, we're kind of keeping a running tab on what kind of budget you could expect to start out in this hobby. It can get really expensive, and it can be really confusing at times when you're picking out stuff. And I don't claim to be an expert, but I do claim to be a novice who has made lots of mistakes, and I just want to kind of guide you through some of the things I've done and some of the things I wish I would have done sooner, so that you can avoid some mistakes and ruin less miniatures and have more colors and brushes and options instead of spending way too much on a few items, which is easy to do in this hobby. Okay, so if you recall the last couple of episodes, I advised you to go and buy a set of brushes. They're not very expensive. This pack of 9 brushes cost me about $6. And also you're going to need a can of primer. I discussed last time a few different brands. I went with Krylon because it is half the price of some of the others. It's just as good. Actually, I like it better in a lot of ways. I think it goes on really smooth, and it has a really nice satiny finish that holds on to paint really well. And this big can is $6.50 as opposed to $15 of certain other brands. So right now you're looking at about $12.50. Not bad so far, but where things start to get really expensive, other than the models themselves, is going to be the paints. Paints can range anywhere from not very much to far too much. Probably the most expensive, at least in my area, the most expensive, but also kind of the premier paint is going to be Citadel. Now, nothing against Citadel. They make great paints. I use them. I like them. A lot of people swear by them. It's just that these little pots, while they are well-made pots, they're kind of airtight. They're easy to open. These little pots are 0.4 ounces, and they run about $3.75 at my local game store. So, you know, if you wanted to go out and buy 10 colors to get started, you're looking at almost $40 just for 10 colors, which is, I think, the minimum. It's a stiflingly small number of colors to have access to. And it gets worse when you start to realize how many different kinds of paint Citadel has. When we start getting into techniques of painting, you're going to learn why there's so many different kinds and what they can be used for. And once you start looking at how to paint videos on YouTube, you will become hooked on certain shades and colors and things like that you're just going to have. But we're going to get into all that later. I do want to just briefly go over some of the different kinds of paints that Citadel makes. This blue one here is it's a base paint. It's kind of for base coating. It's a little thicker than a normal paint. You can't really see. I tried to fix the light in here, but it just, anyway, it has a nice it goes on evenly. It's a nice thick base paint, but they also have these dry paints, which are far thicker. They're more like, almost like putty, almost like pudding. They're like custardy. See that? It doesn't even come out when you turn it upside down. Those are for dry brushing, which is something that we're going to get into later. They also make these shades. This is Nuln Oil, which is just a black shade, but it dries with an oily texture. You can kind of see it sloshing around in there. It's almost like water. It's so thin. It dries with a nice sheen. It looks like oil. It's perfect for when you're kind of filling the cracks in your Warjack smokestacks. Yeah, I'm a rapper. What of it? So, and these run $3.75 at my local game store. I think that's standard. If you went on the website, they're probably about the same. The other most popular paint brand that I know of is going to be Reaper, which I actually haven't had a chance to use any Reaper paints. This is one I picked up today, and I'm looking forward to using it. This is a 1/2 ounce as opposed to 0.4 ounces, and it's also about 50 cents cheaper where I buy them. So it's a little better deal. They have a lot of the same colors as Citadel, a lot of really compatible colors. You can actually, there's tons of charts online that you can look up if you want a certain color in Citadel, what the equivalent is in Reaper. They don't have them for every color. Some of them are unique to the brands, but for the most part, Reaper and Citadel are pretty compatible. Compatible. Another popular brand is going to be Vallejo, which these are really easy for me to get a hold of. They have them at my favorite local hobby shop, who I'm not going to mention right now. But these are a little bigger. These are 0.57 ounces, and they run, what did I say, $3.29 a pop, which, so not a bad deal. It's a little more than what the Reaper offers. A little more reasonable, but I don't think that the color selection is as good, but it's not bad. It's not a bad place to start. There's another brand I'm going to just mention, because this is one of those costly mistakes that I was telling you about. I thought it'd be a good idea to get like a starter kit of, you might have seen these around, of Testors brand, which nothing against Testors, it's good paint. They just, these paints and colors are more for like car models, which is not what I do, and it's not what this video series is about. And these actually, the per unit cost is pretty similar for these as it is for other things, but this is only 1/4 ounce. And they come in these glass pots, which are pretty, I don't know, they're heavy. If you drop them, you're totally screwed. The lids are metal, and sometimes the paint will dry under here, and you can't get the lids off. So I don't recommend these. I don't even know how much they cost. I'm just going to take them off entirely. I will say, though, that the gloss red, if you mix it with a little black, it looks like fresh blood when it dries. It's got a nice sheen to it. Okay, so as you can see, if you use any of these popular paint brands, you're going to be spending a lot per color. And if you're starting out and you don't really know what colors you want, it can be, you know, a lot of trial and error. I bought these before I knew what I wanted. You know, I haven't been able to find anything to use sky blue on. I thought it looked nice in the store, which pooey on me, but for $3.29 I could have got something really useful. The Citadels I bought more recently, like now that I know what I'm doing, I've used all of them extensively. But what I did starting out, and I'm now so very glad I did, and I've never seen anybody recommend this on a YouTube how to paint video, and I think it's a shame, because if you go to Hobby Lobby, they have just rows and rows of acrylic paints of every kind of color you can think of. And a lot of them will come in these little pots like this. Don't laugh, okay? These are acrylic paints. They're totally compatible with any of these other major brands. This whole thing here, what is that, 16 colors? 16 colors ran about between $5 and $6. We'll call it $6 for this whole shebang. The colors are good. The paint is really thick, so you have to thin it out, but that just means that you can stretch it further. You get more for your money. Because it is compatible with other acrylic paints, if you get it, even if you just use the black and white, you're already paying less than you would have paid for the Citadel black and white. And, you know, they don't have as many cool, like, game-type colors like what we really look for, but they do have some really good tones. And plus, you can get just handfuls of these for just a small fraction of what you'd pay for these. I don't know why no one recommends them. If anybody has a good reason not to, post it on the comments. I know a few people are watching these, but nobody has much to say about them. But I would love some feedback. If you guys think I'm full of crap, let me know. If you find this helpful, let me know. I'll tell you too that these are available in much larger bottles. All of these I got for 50 cents each. 2 ounces. Look at this. 50 cents. Almost $4. What do you think? Yeah, me too. And this slate green is a really unique color. I've seen similar ones in Reaper, but I've been using it pretty extensively for my Crix army that I'm getting together. The metallics in this, which I guess is the Michaels brand, their metallics look really good. I haven't tried bolt gun metal. I hear that's the best kind of dark metal to use. When I give it a try, maybe I will let you know. But yeah, I mean, it's a good metallic. Their bronze looks really good too. I haven't tried P3 paints, which is Privateer Press's own brand of paints, but I know you can buy faction color paint packs. They're under $20 each, and you get, I believe, 8 different colors, and they're specific to the factions that you buy for. So you can go and get your Signar paint pack, and you have all the Signar colors right there. That is probably not a bad way to go either. But, you know, you might as well pick up one of these, because you're going to be mixing and blending your own colors. I'm going to stop rambling to you guys now. If you follow my advice, pick up one of these, one of these, one of these, $18, $20, and you can get started. And once you get used to painting techniques, you can start supplementing your collection with the Reapers and the Model Vallejos and the Citadels. And eventually you will have a big, nice assortment of colors. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you comment. I hope this has been helpful. And I will see you next time, War Machines.